What's up, everybody? How's it going? Austin Practical Elevate Performance, coming at you live today. It's Wednesday. It's the last day before I go on vacation. It's gonna be a good time. Going on a road trip. Super freaking excited. I just want to take today. It's day like 9 out of 14 on my going live every single day challenge. Been loving it. It's been a good time coming on here, talking to people, teaching people stuff. But today, I guess theme of the day is talking about something like a product that I like to use and that I kind of like, support and promote and blah, 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 blah. And so I thought that, instead of just like talking about one specific thing, hey Sharon, how's it going? One specific thing, I figured that it would be good to talk about like three different things, but in different categories. So, so I'm going to talk about a pre-workout, a piece of equipment, and I'm going to talk about. Thank you. Thanks. I'm going to teach you all this stuff, Kieran. Don't worry. And then also, I'm going to talk about a protein powder or like a protein that I, really like and that I think that is good quality and that you guys, if you're looking for something, should, gravitate towards that. So, what I guess I'll start with is the pre-workout. Okay, so would like to preface that my favorite pre-workout is mine, the one that I make. I make my own pre-workout, and I am not condoning it. I am not saying that you should go do it. I am just saying that it is possible and that you can do it, and that let me preface that if you do attempt to do it, and you do attempt to do it by following the posts that I've done in the past on how to make your own, I'm not responsible if you accidentally overdose yourself. I'm just going to say that right now. You have to be careful when you're doing it. But the reason why I make my own pre-workout is because a lot of pre-workouts that are out there, pretty much any of them that say that they have a proprietary blend, those are basically just kind of like a way to hide the fact that they're probably underdosing what you're getting in your pre-workout. The reason for that is because there's all kinds of random shit in there, all kinds of different chemicals and names of things in your pre-workout. All of those things, can be at a certain level, and maybe they're not at the appropriate level that you'd like to be getting, but they hide that in a proprietary blend. And so to avoid that, I make my own pre-workout because one, I want to know what the fuck is in. Sorry, I want to know what's in it in the first place. On top of that, like I want to make sure that I know where it's coming from. A lot of pre-workouts and things like that, none of that's regulated by the FDA. It's kind of a wild, wild west. So I like to go directly to the source and buy my own bulk powders and mix them on my own from third-party tested, sites that I trust. And so I make my own pre-workout. If you weren't gonna go that route, a pre-workout that I know that is, sold by like, a good like person that I know of that doesn't, do proprietary blends, that doesn't overdose or like doesn't underdose or anything like that, and it's just like quality. You're looking at like, getting what you actually pay for, and they don't like try and hide it or anything like that. There's a couple of them out there, but the one that I kind of like, I haven't personally tried it, but I know that the person that sells it is a good person, and it's called Ouroboros. You should look into it. It's made by Omar Isuf. He's a YouTube fitness, I guess, not influencer, but whatever you want to call it. And so he does that. He sells that. And so that right there, if you're not, looking to, make your own, that's the route I would go. Just make sure that you avoid, like, if they say like they have a proprietary blend on the pre-workout, it's safe to, assume that they're not being totally honest, kind of thing. Because otherwise, why would they hide it? You know what I mean? So that is my first, thing that I would suggest in terms of pre-workout. I make my own, and if you want to learn how to make your own, let me know, and I guess I'll post it in the comments on how to do it. But again, I'm not responsible if you're dumb and like kill yourself by like overdosing on caffeine powder. Just saying. Okay, so be careful if you do it. The next thing, in terms of equipment that I really like, obviously, like, depends on if you're, I was trying to think, is like, oh, should I, suggest something that's, at home or something from the gym? So I figured, I talk about something that can be used both. You can use them at home or you can take them to the gym to enhance your workouts. And that is resistance bands. But when I say resistance bands, I'm not just saying those like, $5 to $10 things that you can buy off Amazon that you see ads for a shit ton. Because, those will work. Those will, kind of, get the job done if you're, pressed for money or, whatever. But, basically it almost like equally, cheap option, but way higher quality is Elite FTS bands. One, not sponsored. Okay, I'm just gonna preface too. I'm not sponsored by any of these things I'm gonna talk about at all. Like I'm not sponsored by them. I just really like them. I really like the quality. I like the people that also, support it, and I think that they're an upstanding company. But Elite FTS, they basically, I don't know how they do it, but they sell their bands that are like really, really good quality, really cheap, in terms of when it, compared to other bands. Go for Elite FTS. If you had to pick another brand, I would probably suggest like Rogue. They've got some decent bands, but Elite FTS price wise and like quality wise and like just in terms of like, they're just really good. And I actually do have some of those. Well, technically my brother does, but they're like awesome. I love using them at home. During quarantine, they're really helpful in terms of making my workouts suck less. Making them more intense. Going to the gym, you can utilize them to work on breaking through strength plateaus, things like that. So Elite FTS bands, really like them. If you're looking to buy resistance bands, try their website. Oftentimes, though, they're sold out, which kind of speaks for itself that, why are they sold out? Well, they're really good. So, Elite FTS bands. So, the next thing that I'm going to talk about is protein powder. One thing that, you need to understand is that not all protein is like created equal. I've talked about that in the past. You want to make sure that you're getting what you actually need to be getting in terms of like, what your body's absorbing, things like that. And so one thing that you need to be careful with is if it's like, so if it's too good to be true, sometimes it is, in terms of like what protein you're consuming. Like there was like not a scam, I guess it was a scam or a scandalous situation where some of the brands of protein that were being sold like in Walmart were like being extremely like underdosed in terms of what you were actually getting in terms of protein. They were just amino acid spiking the powder, and you weren't actually getting like you were getting however many grams of protein, but you weren't getting the actual like building blocks that you need in order to like it actually like work for you. So they were just selling like amino acid spiked bullshit, and so you want to avoid that. You want to make sure like look up what you're buying. Like if you're gonna go buy and spend a bunch of money on something, like read reviews or like look up like a trusted source, or like I guess ask me. I don't know. Ask me if you think if I think it's like worth buying or not. Because like a lot of time you gotta be careful. Like don't spend your money on random shit just because somebody said it's like like one person said it's good, and if that person's selling you that shit, maybe they have a hidden agenda. So be careful. Make sure that you're, doing your research. But when it comes to protein, there's a lot of different protein powders that are good out there. Pretty much, I mean, anything that's like, less than like 18 grams per serving, I tend to stay away from because it's usually not worth, your money. But I really like my protein. I talked a little bit about a little bit about it on my story today, just because one, like I really like it. I was buying some, so I was like, oh, I'll just talk about how I'm buying a shit ton of it, just because I really do like it. I've used it for like over 5 years now. I've used their standard whey, their isolate whey if you want just more protein per serving, and recently I've started using their clear whey protein that I think in terms of like clear whey, fruity flavored protein, tastes pretty damn good. And the reason though that I really like their protein powder is because I was a broke ass college student. And I needed to get my protein in, and I, lost my trust in terms of, the Walmart proteins that were out there, just because, I read that they were, amino spiking, and I was like, well, I don't like the sound of that. So I was like, maybe I can find it cheaper online, and lo and behold, you can. Compared to like GNC, it's 9 times out of 10, like the My Protein website, they've got like promo codes that are out there. Like I have one, but I mean, they typically have some on there that save you even more money, that you can, save like anywhere from like 30 to like 45% off on their protein. And so oftentimes you're going to save a shit ton of money, especially compared to like GNC. Like GNC, like they freaking suck in terms of like overpricing all their shit. Like they just do. And I have no problem saying that because it's true. And like if you look how much you could save if you bought protein from like My Protein, or there's other websites like True Nutrition. There's a couple other websites, but I can't think of them right now, that I think that put out quality protein and other supplements and things like that. But protein powder wise, My Protein, like, it's so freaking cheap, just because they have such a large like supply and like base that they can sell to. They can get their protein for a lot cheaper, and it's really good quality. And like I said, I've been buying from them for over 5 years, and being like a broke ass college student, you try and work with what you got, and so that's what I did. And so like I still really like the protein, I still use it. So if you guys are ever looking for like protein, and you want to save money, and you want it delivered to your house, or you don't want to spend 2 or 3 times as much at GNC or wherever you're buying it from, like some Whole Foods store or something, like check them out. Like I would go for that. Like I said, not sponsored by any of those things, and so those are my 3 things that I really like in terms of like a supplement, pre-workout, protein powder, equipment. Those are the things that I like and trust, and throw my money at. So I figured I would tell you guys about it, just in case you're looking to save a buck. You want something that's actually going to work for you, and all that good stuff. I'm just here to try and help you guys. So that's my live for today. I guess it's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Thursday. It's check-in day. Looking forward to it. If you guys have any questions for me at all, shoot me a DM. Let me know what your thoughts were from this. Let me know what your #1 takeaway was from this live in the comments down below. If you're watching this at a later time, hit me with that hashtag replay. Let me know that you saw this. Other than that, I'm going to go get packed up because I'm going to go on a vacation tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. So talk to you guys tomorrow. Still going live, even on vacation. See ya.